Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This week's episode is the last in our Working Remote from Tokyo series, and we're ending it on a high note with a day trip to Kamakura. Before we get into it, please do us a favor and give the video a like, and if you're new here, hit that subscribe button and the little notification bell so you don't miss any future episodes. Let's go. Welcome to Kamakura!
Yay, Kamakura!
This is an amazing place to come and visit. It's an easy day trip from Tokyo. It's an hour and 15 minutes on the train from home. And there's so much history here because this used to be the capital of Japan back in the 12th century, I believe. It was the 12th century.
Yeah, you described it as the heart of Japan at that time.
Yeah, it was the most populous place in Japan at those times. And it was the seat of the Kamakura Shogunate. The shogunate that, well, one of the shogunates that predated the famous shogunate, the Tokugawa Shogunate. So we're gonna go and explore some temples here in Kamakura. One very famous one that you probably have seen pictures of. It is an emblem of Japan nowadays. But first, I see a Family Mart and I need a pit stop. A good quick little snack, our onigiri you can get at Family Mart. You've probably seen me eat these many times, and you'll continue to see me eating them many times. This is a new flavor that I haven't seen yet. It is minced tuna.
Is Family Mart your favorite convenience store?
Yes, it is. The first and favorite convenience store. Although all the other ones are also very good. There we go. Not exactly what I was expecting, but that will do. I was thinking there was going to be some mayo in there, but I think it's just minced tuna and like a sesame and soya sauce in there. It's very good. And I also got, of course, a canned Boss coffee. This is my first coffee for the day. Hopefully there's a lot of caffeine in here. Okay, let's make it to our first spot. Our first stop this morning in Kamakura is Kōtoku-in Temple, and this is where the famous bronze-seated statue of Buddha sits, and that is one of the most photographed, most popular images of Japan. You will probably recognize it when you see it.
I like to call this Buddha the Buddha that will not be housed.
Explain that a little bit.
Well, they built him back in what, the 1400s or the
14th century?
The 14th century. They built him a temple, and the temple got destroyed. So they went and then they built him another temple. Then that temple got destroyed. And then they rebuilt the temple that they rebuilt for him, and then that got washed away in a tsunami.
Yeah, that one lasted a little bit longer though. The first two were like 30 years apart, unfortunately. And then the, first one destroyed, second one destroyed.
Third one
lasted about 100 years, and then it got washed away by a tsunami in the 15th century. There was a massive earthquake, and that resulted in a tsunami. So he's been seated outside ever since. I think they just gave up. Three strikes and you're out. Maybe that was a saying even back then.
I think it works well him being outside though.
Oh yeah, it's amazing. Like, you just see him from a distance, seated there. His head sort of pokes up over trees as you're walking towards him, and then he's just surrounded by beautiful beautiful buildings and beautiful trees. It's a really scenic, picturesque spot.
We were lucky because the first time we came to see him, we had very beautiful blue skies. And then this time we came to see him, he has beautiful blue skies again.
Yeah, our first time was our very first trip, right?
Yeah,
in 2007, 12 years ago. So yeah, he's still here. He dates back to 1252, but he was preceded by a wooden version that took 10 years to build. And shortly after it was built, it was destroyed by a storm. And they decided to replace it with a bronze statue, thinking it would be a little bit more, what's the word?
Sturdy?
Sturdy, yeah,
well,
that works.
They thought that it was going to be quite sturdy because they backed it up by covering him in gold.
Oh yeah, he was gilded. Apparently you can still see a bit of the gilding around his ears. But yeah, it's crazy how much history there is here in Kamakura. And it's crazy to think that this statue has been sitting here since 1252 and survived, you know, three of his homes being destroyed. He's survived the tsunami. He's survived how many other natural disasters and wars all these years. And he's looking pretty good.
He's looking very good.
Yeah. So we're gonna take a little walk around, show you the temple complex here, and get you a better close-up look of the seated Buddha. Something neat here at the statue of Buddha is that you can actually go inside and get a look at the innards of the Buddha statue and how it's put together or held together. They have these big vents on the back you can see behind me here that let air vent out of there. Otherwise there'd probably be an oven inside there. I remember we went in there in 2007. We're not going to wait in line to go in there again. You can't take pictures or video inside there. So if you want to see what's inside the statue, you'll have to come here and visit it yourself.
Colossus! Calamities!
Yeah, we just read one of the signs here that talk about what we had already shared with you about the buildings that were ruined, and they called them calamities. And the building went through several calamities before they decided not to rebuild it. And he has been sitting here ever since.
And they refer to the Buddha as the Colossus?
The Colossus, yeah. But this was a really good revisit.
Yes.
I enjoyed it, just walking around, filming for you guys, getting some good shots of him hopefully, and giving you some shots of the crowd so you could get a sense of how big he actually is and just how many people come here to see him.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Tour buses after tour buses outside, not including the people like ants like us, like marching along the path to come see.
Yeah, I can't imagine what it would be like here in prime time. Like, we're not in the high season, we're in low season or the shoulder seasons, and it's still very busy. But I could just imagine this place being completely swarmed with people. There's still quite a bit of open space that you can sort of get off to the side and sit and have a quiet moment. Yeah. But yeah, there's a lot of people here. All right, so we're gonna go off and probably hustle through some smaller, lesser known shrines. There's like lots of temples and shrines here, and we're just gonna make a bit of a walk around and see what we come up with.
We've taken a little break from the crowd and we decided to visit some of the smaller shrines and temples that are dotted everywhere in Kamakura. There are so many, and I don't think that a trip to Kamakura would be complete without a visit or two to a shrine that isn't a main attraction shrine.
Yeah, there's definitely the hot spots here in Kamakura. The place that we were just at where the big Buddha is seated, and there's some other really major shrines and temples. We're going to try and hit one more of them before we leave. But it's also really nice to come off to the smaller ones, as Nicole is saying, because it is a lot more tranquil. You don't have the hordes of tourists like us there exploring it. You have some locals, you have the odd people coming in to see it, and you could just sort of sit and take a recharge from walking along the hordes of people who come to Kamakura. As you saw from the earlier footage, there's a lot of people walking on the main streets from main spot to main spot.
Yeah.
And this one's not far off of that.
No.
It's just a turn and a short walk, and then you're here in a much more tranquil and quiet spot.
Yeah.
So we don't know too much about this shrine, but we do appreciate that it's quiet and we can recharge. And
it offers what every temple should. A bit of respite, some peace, and some tranquility.
yeah.
And can you check out what's behind me? What the heck? They
Yeah.
have a major bonfire going.
Yeah, I wonder why. I wonder if they're burning up stuff. They're probably cleaning the yard, and this is how they get rid of that.
The smell's incredible.
Yeah.
Reminds me of Christmas.
Yeah, so let's have a quick look around, and then we'll move on to our next spot.
Left their shed doors open so that we can see the behind the scenes of the floats.
Yeah, those were really cool. They're very rustic. That's what I like about this shrine generally, actually. It's very rustic.
Yeah,
like all of the buildings, the little shrines around it feel very rustic. And the floats themselves contrasted to the things we saw back in Tokyo.
Yeah, it was not gilded.
No, like those were like crazy ornate.
Yeah.
Very ornate. This one here is wooden. It's carved in wood. It's left as wood grain. It looks really rustic and beautiful.
Yeah.
It's a really nice spot to have stopped today.
Yeah, and it's neat that they didn't like put it on display, but they just left it so that you can see, like you saw their cleaning materials and the different I guess utensils they use to maintain it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, ooh.
It was a really neat behind the scenes.
Yeah.
You're right. I also like this one because the tram goes right beside
love
it.
that tram.
The tracks are basically right outside the main torii gate entrance into the shrine complex here. And when the tram goes by, everyone turns around to take pictures of it through the torii.
Yeah.
And I think I got a decent shot of that. It's really cool.
Yeah, every time I heard ding ding ding, Mike like ran over
Yeah.
and I'm like, you.
I had to
Love
get a
that
shot.
tram.
Yeah, it's very cool. I hope you enjoyed the little walk around here of this amazing little shrine complex. If you want to come and visit it yourselves, it'll be linked down below. The tram's coming again. I gotta go.
This is what happened. We were hustling towards our next site, and then we saw the call of gourmet donuts. And look what happened.
You couldn't even wait for me to go to the washroom to come back and join you before you started chowing down on the donuts.
Don't tell people that.
As Nicole mentioned, this place does gourmet donuts. And what's the name? Misaki Donuts. I have a pamphlet here. I think they have a couple of locations, but we were lucky to have taken the wrong turn.
Yes.
Because we were supposed to go back down the main busy road, and somehow I ended up on a parallel road, which is smaller and like super quiet.
Yeah.
And we came across this donut place on that road. So that was meant to be.
Yeah,
We could not pass up these donuts. They were meant
No.
for us to have them.
No, and the donut sign was really small, so my donut spidey senses were tingling wrong
Yeah,
point
I missed
today.
it. You got it.
I was like, wait a minute, something. And then I was like, gourmet donut. We ran over here, we saw the case and we saw their flavors and we couldn't say no. I got lemon cream cheese curd.
Is it good?
Yes it is. So one side I think is coated with white chocolate, which I don't like.
Or is it cream cheese?
No, it's actually white chocolate. Oh. And I'm not a big fan of white chocolate, so Mike can have this little corner here. But all this other side here, the 75% real estate here, is a super, super light, fluffy donut. And the cream cheese is, the lemon is just perfect. It's that nice natural lemon, not a fake lemon, a nice real lemon juice. Fresh, tingly feeling. So I am very happy we came in here.
Excellent. I also got a donut. Mine is completely fully intact because unlike Nicole, I waited for her before I started. Let's give this one a try. This is walnut caramel.
I know, right?
This one's stuffed. Is yours stuffed?
Yeah, it's just stuffed with the cream cheese.
I didn't see that. This one's stuffed with like a whipped caramel, maybe kind of like a butter or something with chunks of walnut. It's really excellent.
You know, the donut itself is amazing and the stuffing is amazing. And I think your coffee is going to be good because I was watching him making it. He's very, very meticulous.
He did a pour over, which
is
amazing. It wasn't just a drip coffee. It was a like gourmet coffee to go with gourmet donuts.
Good find.
Yeah, so we got to finish these up and get back on our route to where we're trying to get to before we lose complete sun. It is now 3:35.
Okay, we're gonna chow down.
We'll catch you at the shrine.
You know what my favorite part of this shrine is?
No, what?
It's the part that's leading up to it. They did an incredible job, and it's like going on a roller coaster. The closer you get, the excitement builds and builds and builds.
Yeah, that was done completely on purpose. The last major site that we're going to see here in Kamakura for the day is, bear with me, this is a mouthful, Tsurugaoka Hachiman-gū. The approach is 1.8 kilometers long, and at the time, still today, this shrine is the center of Kamakura, but at the time, it was probably the center of Japan because this is where the current shogunates at the time ruled. So this approach came all the way down from the ocean up to this shrine, and it was meant to make it feel like the center of everything. And it was interesting because as you got closer to the shrine, the last segment of that road, they actually built it wider than the others. So when you were standing up here at the shrine and looking down, it made the street look a lot longer than it was.
Like an optical illusion.
Yeah, like a bit of an optical illusion. So this is a pretty big complex, as you can imagine, being such an important cultural area. We're gonna take a walk around and show you some of the sights around the shrine here, and then we'll catch up with you after. We're done looking around. We hope you enjoyed seeing some glimpses of this shrine here up on this hill. What did you think?
I'm so happy we came to this shrine. It was driving me nuts because we had visited this shrine 12 years ago and I remembered the walkway leading up to it so perfectly, but for the life of me I couldn't pin which shrine it was, where in Japan it was, and I only remember it was this walkway, and every once in a while the thought would be, where was that walkway? And when I approached the walkway this time, I was like, Ah, it's been revealed.
I was blinded by the light bulb above your head. Yeah, I also remember the big red torii at the start here of the last bit of the approach, and we ate at a restaurant right beside it, basically.
Yeah.
I can't believe I'm remembering facts that you forgot. That's crazy. So yeah, this is a pretty impressive place.
Yeah, I think this is one of those shrines where some shrines have the magic inside the shrine, and some shrines have the magic from afar. And this is one of the shrines I personally think that have the magic from afar, that you see it from afar and you're like, that can't be real. It looks like a magical kingdom or a magical place.
Especially when we caught it at the end of day as the light was starting to disappear. The sun sets sort of behind us and the shrine is in front of us, so it gets that last bit of sunlight just before the sun disappears, and it looks spectacular on the hillside here. It's glowing. It looks fantastic from afar. I do also like it from up close. It feels impressive when you're standing under it, and the complex here is rather large.
It's definitely a complex that was built to impress.
Yeah, there's a lot of, so this is a Shinto shrine, but there's a lot of Buddhist temple sort of things going on here as well, and that's because elements, because that's when it was originally built. Both were represented here. You had the Shinto and the Buddhism sort of mixed together, and then the Meiji Restoration, they tried to separate those two religions.
Oh, so the government came in and separated the two religions.
Yeah, and we've seen that several times over the years coming to Japan. You see glimpses of that, and you can get that here because it's hard to tell which one they're going for because they were mixed at the time, and I guess the separation wasn't too successful in terms of architecture, just in terms of religion. So yeah, that's another interesting little factoid as we leave the grounds here and head for some food. You are living dangerously.
Why am I living dangerously?
Because you haven't started packing yet. I'm pretty much packed for tomorrow, and you wanted to stay in Kamakura for dinner. So you're living dangerously. You're gonna have a late night.
You've hitched your wagon next to mine.
Oh man.
So
be quiet while you're packing so I can sleep. So speaking of dinner, we found a cool izakaya. And this place, according to a review on Google, looks grotty and suspicious from the outside, but had a nice interior. I don't know what he means by grotty, and I don't think it looks suspicious, but it definitely does have a nice interior, so I'll give him that. And the food menu looks really good. They have a lot of selection, and we both kind of ordered the same thing, which we weren't adventurous.
No, both of us we saw that and we both were like, we want that, and then we're like, oh, it's gonna make a bad YouTube video. And we're like,
I blame you though, because as we were walking back from the shrine, you mentioned tempura, and that got imprinted in my brain, and that's all I felt like after that. So that's basically what we ordered. Both got tempura, hot udon for you, tempura and hot soba for me, and we got chicken, which we'll show you when it gets here, for appetizer, and I ordered sake. So good meal. We're gonna be full.
Hopefully.
Don't get lazy and dopey after dinner.
I'll sleep on the train home.
You can have a Big Bird on the train, and then you have to get to work.
Do people know what Big Bird is?
I don't know. You should tell them.
Big Bird is, if you watch Sesame Street, Big Bird has the ability to sit and nap in his nest upright. I have that ability too. So when we're out sightseeing and I need a 5-10 minute Big Bird, I just kind of find an empty spot, and I sit there and I Big Bird myself for about 10 minutes, and then I'm good to go.
You've always had the superpower of being able to sleep anywhere. It's crazy. I have the opposite power, which is ability to never sleep anywhere. All right, hopefully the food comes quickly because I'm very hungry after exploring Kamakura. So they had a small sake menu here, and it was all in Japanese. I didn't know what anything was. The only way I could have possibly made a decision was just based on price. So I asked the waitress what was her favorite, and she pointed to what she said was the famous sake from the region. I still don't know anything about it or the name of it, and I don't think it's her favorite because she didn't answer in that way, but it's very good. It has a very smooth flavor. The alcohol doesn't really bite at you with this. This one's very tasty. Is it dry or fruity? I'm gonna go with fruity. I don't think it's super dry. It doesn't leave that dry feeling in my mouth. And I have just exhausted all my adjectives for sake. The first course we ordered to share is their charcoal chicken. This is similar to the charcoal chicken that we had a week or so ago. I'll link that video up above because that place specialized in chicken. They had really good chicken. So let's try this place's version of charcoal chicken. That charcoal flavor hits you immediately when you put the chicken in your mouth. The best way I can think of to describe that is when you're cooking chicken on the barbecue and fat's dripping down and it lights on fire, and then your chicken ends up being cooked by that burning flame from the burning fat. It gives that kind of flavor onto the chicken. This is what this kind of tastes like. That's the closest thing I can think of to explain it. But the chicken itself is really good. It's cooked right past raw. It's super juicy and super tender. If this is a good representation of what this place can do, I'm really looking forward to the main course that's coming.
I think I have a new favorite dish. Charcoal chicken. Maybe charcoal covered anything. Who knows? I've never had charcoal covered chicken before this trip. But this dish is so yummy that as soon as I put this piece in my mouth, I'm already angling for the second piece and I'm still chewing this piece.
We both ordered similar main dishes. It was both tempura, but I got mine with soba noodle and Nicole got hers with udon noodle. I'm gonna try the soba. I really felt like a hot soup tonight after walking around Kamakura. Once the sun went down, it got really chilly and we both kind of had a bit of a chill, so this will be good to get rid of that, although the sake is helping quite a bit. Wow, that noodle's got a really good chew. It's not too soft and it's not too firm. It's just kind of bounces back when you chew on it. And the broth has a really nice deep flavor. That's what's hitting me immediately with this. I'm really happy that I finally got warm soba. Let's try some of this tempura. So this was some vegetable tempura with a prawn. And I'm gonna try this eggplant. It's a big slice of eggplant. The tempura coating is very delicate. It's not very crunchy. It's still pretty soft. But it's held in all the juice from the eggplant. Because as soon as you bite into it, the eggplant juice kind of just fills your mouth and you get that good eggplant flavor. Very happy with dinner choice tonight.
Boy, I really did not want that chicken to end. But I got a consolation prize. The batter is light. The bottom part, I think I let it sit for a bit, so it got a bit soggy. The one thing I wish I came with was tempura sauce, but since I ordered it with a soba, it didn't come with the tempura sauce. I think it's supposed to dip it in the soba noodle, which I don't like. Overall, a solid piece of shrimp. Hasn't blown my socks off like the chicken, but the udon noodles, those are really good because they're very silky. They have a good chew and they're soft in the mouth, if that makes sense, and the broth that goes with them is a really deep and rich broth, so I'm really enjoying my udon noodles.
Dinner was very good. If you want to check that out, if you're ever in Kamakura, links will be down below. But we are rushing to the train station because if we miss the train that's about to leave in 10 minutes, we have to wait an additional 50 minutes for the next train. So we're rushing over to the train station. It's very close. I think we'll be okay, but hopefully we'll see you on the train. Just kidding, that wasn't our train, but we made it. We're here in line waiting for our train to arrive. Should be here in a couple of minutes. They actually are calling that it's coming, so we're first in line for our green car. Fingers crossed it's not full. on the train. We made it. 1 hour and 15 minutes and we'll be back at Ikebukuro 5 minutes from there, and then Nicole will be packing like a fiend. You better be packing like a fiend.
Quit having fun at my expense.
You have a lot of packing to do. I got all mine done this morning while you were sleeping. You're gonna be in some pain tonight, let me tell you. We have to leave early tomorrow at 8:30 in the morning.
Why are you so joyous about my pain?
I'm not joyous, because I know your pain's gonna be my pain.
Hours later.
So we've been at it for a good 2.5 hours. It is just past 11 now, and we had a really long but amazing day.
Yes.
I really enjoyed our return to Kamakura and seeing the Buddha, and then reliving some of Kamakura, like you having your memory jogged and remembering.
Finally.
Yeah, you connected some dots that have been long unconnected for you.
And then the dinner was really good.
Yeah, that was really good.
The snack was really good, and lunch was all three
Everything
meals were
was
excellent.
good.
Yep.
The train trip home was good.
Yeah, because I slept the whole time.
You slept, and we used our green car passes. We had our JR rail passes started today,
Yeah.
so we were able to use those to go to Kamakura. We got 2-week passes, 14-day passes, and we're flying home on a Saturday and don't need them for that day, so we're able to start them today, which is perfect.
So are we starting to babble because we're delirious?
Yes.
I think it's time to say goodnight then.
Yes, we're all packed, we're ready to go to bed, wake up early, and make our way to our first Shinkansen trip of this whole vacation. So I'm really excited about that. Love the Shinkansen. So the sooner we get to sleep, the sooner we can wake up and do that. Kind of like Christmas. Sooner we go to bed, the sooner we can wake up and open presents. So we will say goodnight, and we will see you tomorrow.
Good night.
Thanks so much for watching the video. We hope you enjoyed spending the day exploring Kamakura with us. If you did, please like the video. It really helps the channel grow. Next up, we're headed to Shikoku, so don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the little notification bell so you don't miss the upcoming series. We'll see you next week.